Hello, dear listener. Welcome to this cozy space where stories come to life in the quiet of the night. As you settle in, take a deep breath, let go of the day's worries, and allow yourself to drift into a state of deep relaxation. Tonight, I invite you to journey into a timeless tale of love, longing, and magic. One that has been whispered for generations beneath moonlit skies. This is the story of Rapunzel. So find a comfortable spot, perhaps curled up in a warm blanket, resting by the fire, or simply closing your eyes as the rain gently taps against the window. Let the soft glow of this moment wrap around you like a lullaby, and let the words guide you into a world of dreams. If you enjoy peaceful bedtime stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring more calming tales to life, creating a space where you can unwind, relax, and drift into sleep. Now, relax, breathe deeply, and let the story begin. Long ago, in a quiet village nestled between rolling green hills and dense forests, there lived a kind and humble couple. They had a simple life, tending to their small cottage and garden, but one thing weighed heavily on their hearts. They longed for a child. Years passed, and their wish remained unfulfilled. Yet, one spring, when the air was scented with the blossoms of new life, the woman finally carried a child beneath her heart. Their joy knew no bounds, and every day they spoke in hushed tones about the little one who would soon fill their home with laughter. Their cottage stood beside a great, high-walled garden, lush and brimming with the most wondrous plants and flowers. Roses curled over archways, violets clustered beneath leafy trees, and the sweet perfume of lilies drifted in the wind. But though the garden seemed inviting, no one dared to enter, for it belonged to a sorceress named Dame Godhel. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in soft hues of violet and gold, the wife gazed out from their small window. Her eyes fell upon a patch of Rapunzel, a tender green herb with delicate leaves that shimmered in the fading light. A longing stirred in her, gentle at first, but soon it grew into an ache. She turned to her husband, her voice barely above a whisper. "I do not know why," she said, "but my heart longs for that herb. If I do not taste it, I fear I shall waste away." Her husband, though wary, loved her dearly. That night, under the cover of darkness, he climbed over the high wall, his breath shallow with fear. The garden was silent, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming jasmine. He moved swiftly, plucking a handful of the precious leaves. But just as he turned to leave, a shadow fell upon him, and a voice, smooth yet cold, cut through the air. "How dare you steal from my garden?" He spun around, his heart pounding. Before him stood Dame Godhel, her dark robes blending into the night, her eyes gleaming like polished stones. Trembling, the man fell to his knees. "Forgive me," he pleaded. "My wife carries our child, and she longs for this herb more than words can say. I feared for her health." Dame Godhel regarded him in silence. Then a slow smile curled upon her lips. "If it is your wife's health you wish to save, then so be it. Take as much as you need," she said. But as the man breathed a sigh of relief, she added, "But in return, when your child is born, you shall give it to me." The man's breath caught in his throat. The thought of losing his child filled him with despair. Yet beneath Dame Gothel's gaze, he felt powerless. With a heavy heart, he nodded. And so, when the child was born, a beautiful girl with hair like spun gold, the sorceress came as she had promised. She took the infant into her arms, wrapping her in a cloak dark as the night, and whispered her name, Rapunzel. The tower in the forest. Dame Gothel raised Rapunzel as her own, keeping her hidden from the world. As the years passed, the child grew into a girl of extraordinary beauty, her golden hair tumbling past her shoulders like liquid sunlight. But she was not to roam free like other children. Deep within the heart of an ancient forest, hidden among towering trees, stood a lonely tower. It had no doors, no staircases, only a single window high above, where Rapunzel would sit and watch the world below. It was there that Dame Gothel kept her, far from the eyes of strangers. Whenever she wished to visit, the sorceress would stand beneath the tower and call in a voice that echoed through the trees. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that I may climb without a stair. Hearing these words, Rapunzel would throw down her long, braided locks, and Dame Gothel would climb up, using them like a silken rope. Though she lived in solitude, Rapunzel did not feel lonely. She sang to the birds that nested near her window, watched the changing of the seasons, and dreamed of the world beyond the trees. She imagined the rolling fields and distant villages, the rivers that ran to the sea, and the stars that whispered of lands unknown. A Prince in the Shadows. One evening, as the sky blushed with the first hues of sunset, a young prince rode through the forest. He had been hunting with his men, but as twilight deepened, he found himself alone, wandering through the trees. Just as he was about to turn back, a voice, clear and sweet as birdsong, drifted through the air. He stilled, his heart quickening. Who could be singing so beautifully in such a lonely place? Silently, he followed the sound until he reached a hidden glade, where the tower stood tall against the fading sky. Concealed among the shadows, he watched as an old woman called up to the window, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, that I may climb without a stair. Moments later, a golden braid tumbled from above, and the woman began her slow ascent. The prince remained hidden, watching until she disappeared into the tower. Fascinated, he returned the next night and the next. Finally, one evening, when the moon hung high in the sky, he stepped into the clearing and, with a steady voice, spoke the words he had memorized. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. The braid fell like a golden river, and the prince climbed swiftly. When he reached the top and pulled himself into the tower, he found himself face to face with Rapunzel. For a moment, she only stared, her wide eyes filled with wonder and surprise. Never before had she seen a man. "Who are you?" she whispered. The prince smiled, his voice gentle. "I heard your song and followed it through the forest. I did not mean to startle you." Though at first she was shy, his kindness soothed her, and soon they spoke as though they had known each other always. Night after night, he returned, bringing stories of the world beyond the trees. He told her of vast kingdoms, of bustling marketplaces filled with spices and silks, of the ocean stretching endless and blue. Rapunzel listened, entranced, and in time, love blossomed between them. One evening, she turned to him, her voice trembling with excitement. "Take me away from here," she whispered. "Let me see the world with my own eyes." But fate had other plans. Dame Gothel, ever watchful, soon discovered their secret. With a cruel hand, she cut Rapunzel's golden locks and cast her into the wilderness. A love that endures. When the prince came that night, expecting to find his beloved, he climbed only to meet the sorceress's cruel gaze. With a bitter laugh, she let the severed braids slip from her hands, and the prince fell from the tower into the thorns below. Blinded and lost, he wandered for many years, calling Rapunzel's name. But love, true and unwavering, is never lost. One day, as he stumbled through a quiet valley, a familiar voice reached his ears. Rapunzel. She ran to him, tears falling freely. As she wept, her tears touched his eyes, and at once his sight was restored. Together, they journeyed to his kingdom, where they were wed beneath a sky strewn with stars. And there, at last, they lived in love and peace, a tale whispered for generations to come. And so, dear listener, close your eyes, rest your heart, and dream of golden towers and songs that echo through the night. Good night.